What's going on, everyone? From LowKick MMA, I am joined with Julia Psycho Polastri. She is set to make her Octagon debut on March 23rd against Stephanie Luciano. Julia, thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, I thank you. I thank you for inviting me. It's very cool to do this interview. So thank you again.
Yeah, of course. Now, you were supposed to fight at the start of March, got pushed back a few weeks. You're in Vegas. How are you feeling? It's about a week out from your fight. How are you feeling?
Yes, my fight was going to be at March 2nd, but unfortunately, a week before my opponent was out, and I still didn't know what happened. And we got 3 more weeks for training and getting prepared for the bout now. I will debut with another Brazilian.
Mhm.
So this is not the way that I wanted to do that, but okay. And now I'm in Vegas. I'm here training in the PI. Is very cool, and I'm so excited about doing my debut and getting the organization.
Yeah, you mentioned the changing opponent. You were supposed to fight Josephine Knudsen. That fight was also going to be in Saudi Arabia, then changes to Vegas. But now we're back in Vegas. We're finally there. How has it been for you, being in Vegas and getting some extra training time, even if it is with the change of opponents?
I first of all, I was really upset because I've been in a long camp. My last fight was in September, so it's a lot of time training. But then I put my head on straight, and I think clearly, and I saw that this was a good thing because I don't know what happened with Josephine, but something happened, and she needed to get out the fight. I don't know if it was something bureaucratic or if it was something about the game, about the fight. But I think that this can cause a good impression with the organization, and I hope this. And then I started liking the time that we get, and I've been working so hard and enjoying this time the best way I could. And now in Vegas, I'm doing my best because it's close, and I can't wait to get in the cage.
Does that almost kind of add a little bit of fuel to the fire, knowing like, okay, I should have been fighting at the start of March. It got pushed back 3 weeks. It's, a new opponent. Does that kind of add more fuel to the fire of like, all right, I'm pissed off now. I want to go in there and put on even better performance?
Yes, of course. I think exactly like that. I was like, oh, they give me more time, so I'm gonna show them that this time will be so damn prove for me, you know. So this is after the sadness for not fighting on the day I was thinking, came this feeling of rage, and I just wanted to get in there and smash it.
Yeah, well, I obviously the fight with Knutson would have been a great fight. I know you're upset, but I'm glad we are able to get this rebooked pretty quickly. You did mention that Stephanie Luciano, your opponent, she is another Brazilian. I know a lot of times in Brazil, Brazilian fighters don't like to fight each other. Is that kind of, and I see you kind of nodding your head. Is that kind of, I guess, kind of how does that affect the fight, is what I'm trying to say.
uh, it's just something that I really didn't want it to happen right now because there's so many girls, Brazilian girls in the UFC that are awesome, and I see that they are putting more and more Brazil versus Brazil, and it's kind of uh,
Mhm.
but okay, okay, I will do my work. I know she will do her work too, and one thing that is for sure is that will be the greatest show that you can see.
Mhm. When you look at your opponent, Stephanie Luciano, have you gotten to watch, footage on her? What do you think gives you the advantage over her?
So I think I'm more aggressive, and I think I have more qualifies in feet and in the ground.
Mhm.
So I really think that this fight is a good fight for me. Uh, I really think that is even better than the Knudsen, because I thought Knudsen was more complete.
Mhm.
But I know Stephanie is a really good girl, and she always she always getting better. Fight after fight, she's getting better. So this is really good, and I think that my advantage with this fight is my ground and pound
Mm.
and the control of the solo. I think that this will be the key.
You this will be your second straight fight now at the Apex, going back to the Contender Series. You were originally booked to fight in Saudi Arabia. Now the UFC is going to Brazil for UFC 301 in May. Is that maybe a card you're hoping to get a quick turnaround and get on?
So I thought a lot about it, but I don't know if this would be good. Thinking right, thinking with the cards on the table. I think that it's better I get a camp
Mhm.
to prepare for my next fight, and not just catch and fight just to fight in Rio. I
Mhm.
know there will be others UFCs in Rio, and I can wait. I really wanted, if my fight was March 2nd, maybe we could try something, but now it's too close, and I don't know if we'll be. If they call me, I can try, but it's not something that I'm gonna ask.
Fair enough. And you mentioned you training in Brazil, and I'm sure if you got the short notice and you're healthy for it, it'd be tough to say no. You train down in Brazil. I know you own your own gym there. What's it like being, both a gym owner and a fighter?
So the gym is mine and of Douglas. We are a couple, and I just live all with him. And I just do my work as athlete. I training, and he controls everything else.
Mhm.
Uh, Spiders, and it's really cool because I don't need to work with these things. He keeps everything with him, and I just let it go.
When you're training at a smaller gym, it can kind of go both ways because on the one end, you're maybe not training with, other UFC fighters. But that means when you're in camp, like all the focus is on Julia Polastri. You're not just another body in the gym.
Yes, I actually think this is amazing. I don't like training with a lot of people. I've always training just myself and him. So when there's a lot of people around us, I don't be too much comfortable. Um, a lot of people tell me that, oh, you need to train with a lot of athletes, with more people, but we do our work so good just we two, and we get here just like that. So to me it's amazing, and it's something that I don't wanna move, don't wanna change.
Mhm. Yeah, fair enough. And I think it's clearly worked out for you in that, you're getting your camp down in Brazil, but then you go to Vegas now, you're at the UFC PI a few weeks before the camp. So it's got to be working for you getting a little bit, I guess, kind of dipping your toe in both gyms a little bit.
Yes, we are here, and I'm still training with him. So yesterday we were at the PI, and there was a lot of athletes. I was like, "Oh my God, where we're training!" But we get a little space and did our train the best way, and it's very cool. It's different.
Mhm. So going back to this card that you're fighting on, it's headlined by Amanda Hebos and Rose Namajunas. Now that fight is at flyweight. You're competing at strawweight, but Rose obviously a champion at 115. Hebos is still ranked at 115. Does that almost give you a little bit of extra kind of motivation of like, okay, if I can make a statement, maybe I can catch some of the eyes of, people, higher ranked fighters who are in the main event.
Of course, I was really thinking about it because they are two amazing athletes. I think that this fight would be awesome. It's
Mhm.
catching fire. and both of them fight in the strawweight. So it is my division. I don't know if I will get up to flyweight, but on the strawweight, I saw them like, oh, greatest. So be on a card that will be leadered by them and can show my work with all the power that I want, definitely can give me really good things about this fight.
How do you see that fight playing out between Rose and Hebos?
How do I see the fight? So, I'm Brazilian. I will be cheering for Rivas, of course, but I think that the game of both can complete each other. The Namayunas is cold, is nothing. I miss the word. Nothing, nothing blame her. She doing her job, and Ribas go to the fight and keep reaching the fight. So I think that one game will can complete the other, but also can make a damage in the other. So it's a fight that we can't miss because I don't think it will be to the final round.
Fair enough. And then I also want to ask, in your division, Zhang Wei Li is set to defend her belt against Yan Xiaonan at UFC 300. How do you see that fight playing out?
So it's a fight that I am waiting for. Actually, I saw the Willie Zhang and the UFC PI today. We took a picture. She's awesome. I saw her training, and it's very cool. Is really an athlete to get inspired. And I don't know if the I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the opponent.
Yan Xiaonan.
Yes, Yan Shona. I don't know if she can get the belt because I think that Willie Zhang is a really complete athlete, and I think that she just gonna leave the belt when she wants. So it would be an awesome fight, but I think the champion will keep still champ.
Fair enough. Now, I do want to ask because, we spoke before your contender series fight, and Brazil over the last, obviously it's kind of throughout history been so involved in MMA, but it's kind of gone up and down. And at the start of last year, it was kind of a rough period for Brazilian fighters, and it's totally been reversed. Pantoja is now a champion. Alex Pereira is now a champion. We see just so many fighters on the rise, and that includes you. You're now making your UFC debut, coming off contender series. What is it like being part of, I guess, kind of this wave of Brazilian talent?
Oh, there's just one thing I can say about it. The Brazil is going to dominate the UFC soon. We got so much athletes that give themselves, give all of them, and I think that this is the most differential in the MMA, in every sports, but in the MMA a little more because you need to love that, and the Brazilian guys have this. So it's amazing being part of this, and I really think that soon we'll see a lot of champions, a lot of Brazilian champions.
Awesome. Well, Julia, my final question, most importantly, March 23rd, Julia Polastri, Stephanie Luciano. Julia, give me your official prediction.
So you can wait a extremely bleeding fight because I want to show all my aggressive, and I really want to make the organization see that I I'm not here for play. I'm not here for doing bureaucratic fights. I'm here to give all and give show and get blood, and that's what I'm always going to search for my fight. So you can wait all of this and a lot of more in March 23.
Awesome. Well, Julia, I'm wishing you the best of luck. If there are any socials, teammates you want to shout out, platform is yours.
So if you can see my gym is CWB Fighter, and my Instagram is Polastri UFC, and my head coach Instagram is Douglas Bastos CWB, just like the team. And we are here, and I'm representing Brazil and my team, and I hope you really like my job and follow us to be around all of this.
Awesome. Guys, Julia Polastri makes her UFC debut on March 23rd when she faces Stephanie Luciano. You will not want to miss this fight. Julia, thank you so much for taking the time. Best of luck to you. Of
Thank you for inviting me again. Thank you for the interview and thank you for the cheers. I will do my best and I hope you like it.
course.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.